Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Don't Follow the Schedule. I'm working as a porter for a fast food chain. One shift, about a year ago now, I just gotten done rushing around cleaning and fixing everything in our restaurant that I could find, and my shift was over. So, as many are mandated to do, I let my assistant general manager know that I was done with all of my job duties and that I was going to clock off and head home. After I did my job duties, I often went and asked my coworkers if they would like me to do anything to help them with their jobs to pass the time until my shift was over. I was still on the clock after all, and I don't believe in letting someone pay for work they aren't getting. And I was out of things to do that would fall under the category of my responsibilities. He gave me the same disapproving look that he might have given me had I arbitrarily asked to leave 3 hours early. He made some derogatory statements, but I simply said something like, "Okay, you are the boss," and I didn't leave. I was given the impression I was being a bad employee somehow by actually leaving when my schedule said. I didn't appreciate being told one thing in my schedule, and then when I followed what I was told, being treated like I was in the wrong. So I decided I would just stay and find things to do until he came to me to tell me when he felt it was an appropriate time for me to clock out. If he wants to increase labor costs, who am I to turn down some pay? First half hour. I'm unintentionally in the kitchen staff's way, cleaning the stations, wiping down walls, changing out trash bags. Second half hour. I'm underfood while trying to fetch things to stock and products I need to clean. Hour 3 saw me in the dish pit, doing all the dishes for the kitchen staff. I finally decide, after being there over 3 hours after my shift was supposed to be over, that I need to use the restroom. I walk through the kitchen to go to the restrooms and run into my assistant general manager on the way. He looked surprised to see me. "I thought you left already." "Nope. You seemed so upset that I was leaving. I thought you needed my help." He seemed distressed about the problem he may have created for himself. "Well, what are you working on now?" "Well, I'm almost done with all the dishes." He knows this isn't my job. "Well, you can go now, if you want." After that, no one at my workplace ever gave me a hard time about clocking out on time again. Some of them even used to actively seek me out when it was time for me to clock out to ensure I knew it was okay for me to leave if my job duties were fulfilled. Of course, they always were. Things are different now that I have a whole new list of job duties with 3 times as many job duties on it. But it felt nice not to get the stink eye just because I was following the schedule they provided me. The next story is called Apply the Coupon. Once upon a time, I was working a seasonal retail job at a craft store chain. It's important to note that for the purposes of the sales, lighted tree toppers, lighted decorations, string lights, etc. were all separate categories. On this fateful day, lighted tree toppers were on sale for 30% off. The rest of the lighted decor on that aisle was not. The sales were very clearly marked and the sections designated clearly, as well as the category printed on the package itself. It is even listed in the email that Karen was using to present her coupon. Karen approaches my register with her tree topper. The register recognizes the discounts and applies them automatically in most instances, this being no exception. The 30% applies itself. Your total will be $18.90. Karen then presents her 20% off coupon. "I'm sorry, ma'am. This coupon is not applicable to sale items. Those aren't on sale. The lights aren't on sale this week." I showed a copy of our sale bulletin on my counter. "I apologize for the confusion, ma'am. This actually falls under the tree topper category. You'll see here, it's 30% off. I won't be able to apply the coupon, but you will be getting the already discounted sale price. I am telling you, I don't want any sale. You are going to take my coupon." I should probably mention she was in at least once weekly, yelled about sales and coupons every single time, and then declared she was never coming back, only to be back the following week to do the same. "Ma'am, I would have to manually overwrite the sale price and apply the coupon manually as well." "Then do it. I'm telling you it is not on sale and I'm using my coupon or I'm reporting you." "Yes, ma'am, if you insist." I got visual confirmation from my supervisor in the way of a hand signal we used to mean, "Go ahead." She was not happy when I did exactly as she demanded, and her total came to $21.60. "You are stealing from me. I demand to speak to our manager. I'm never coming back here again." My shift supervisor had been on the next register over the whole time to comment the afternoon rush. That's how she managed to give the visual approval at that moment. She took great joy in telling Karen, "You have the exact discounted price you demanded. You can pay it or leave." "Oh, you are never coming back? Do you promise?" Karen paid her $21.60 with her head hung. She was back the next week. The third story is called Professional Clothing. This was a few years back. I worked in a design firm and I was lucky to have my own office, as this was a fairly small company, 11 people. I am of Scottish origins and I am a lifelong kilt wearer. A kilt is an article of clothing, much like pants, trousers, shirts, etc. I'd managed to make the case to the company about letting me wear my kilts to work, as I would continue to dress professionally and basically not make a fool of anyone. They knew my work ethic and my professionalism, or so I thought. This went on for a couple of years, until one time there was this sort of fancy company dinner. It wasn't really a black tie sort of affair, but we were expected to attend very well dressed in formal attire, coat, ties, the works. So I sent an email detailing how this would be a great opportunity to show the dressier side of a kilt with all the trimmings. What followed took me by surprise, as one of the bosses came directly to my office and asked me not to wear the kilt as it would be unprofessional. I reminded him that I had been wearing my kilt to work, I had interacted with clients, etc. and my professionalism had never been in question by anyone. So I told him, "Thanks for the suggestion, but I will wear my kilt, it can be really dressy." So he came back with, "Well, let me put it this way. If you show up with your kilt, you will put your position here in jeopardy. This dinner is not the time to wear a costume." I blew my lid off and had a nice back and forth with him about how a kilt is an article of clothing, not a costume, not a skirt, not anything extravagant. And finally, it is my cultural attire. So if you want to face problems for national origin discrimination, you can go ahead and threaten me with my job because you personally don't like my kilt. The tone changed immediately. No longer was I threatened with losing my job over a kilt, but the excuse now was that he would start keeping a close watch on what I do here. And that was enough for me. I showed up to the dinner wearing vintage clothes, a mid-1960s Scottish Harris tweed jacket, well corduroy pants, and also vintage 1950s woven necktie, and to top it off, I wore my 1930s paperboy hat. I looked dapper and dressed to the nines. Man, did I look good. Of course, that was not what the one boss was expecting, and he was visibly mad. So much so that he called me aside and basically asked me what the heck. I told him this was my formal attire. This is how I dress. I love vintage British style, so I wore it since you objected to my kilt. He was fuming the rest of the night, and by the way, no one batted an eye. In fact, a couple of compliments were received. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories in today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.